Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the PokerStrategy.com Heads Up Championship. This is Lemon. Joining me today is Latsko, yesterday's semi-finalist. Hi, Latsko.
Hi, everybody.
Today, this is the second semi-final, and we're obviously playing for the privilege of being in the final of the PokerStrategy.com Heads Up Cash Championship against the first finalist, who is Meister Meises. We have a very interesting match on today. These are two not really players that you would probably expect in the semi-finals, but they battled their way through the tough brackets. So without further ado, I will just introduce the players. You can see Chokata here, who actually, he doesn't play heads up at all. He doesn't play cash. He is actually a tournament player. He plays 180-man sit and goes. He plays 60-man sit and goes on the mid-stakes levels. So obviously it's a great achievement for him to make it this far. But one thing I want to mention, he took down some really big names in terms of the people that he was playing. He took down two poker strategy coaches, Twin One and Double Two, without mercy. And afterwards, he dismantled Evil Sai F77, who I know plays heads-up cash games. So it will be interesting to see how he plays. I've actually seen him before, and he definitely has an unorthodox style with some sizings that you would not expect from a cash game player. Very much similar to probably what you faced yesterday, Latsko.
Yeah.
And in the left-hand corner on table 2 and the right-hand corner of table number 1, it's Jake the Snake. Jake the Snake actually does not play cash games, but he's a heads-up sit-and-go specialist. He plays the turbo variant. It's not hyper turbo, so he should have a lot of heads-up experience. Besides some competition that plays the small stakes, etc., he actually managed to take down Refilio, who is a high-stakes player. So in the last round, it was very, very surprising. He managed to battle his way through that, through a cash game specialist who plays high stakes up to 10-20. And obviously, Jake the Snake used his heads-up sit-and-go skills to take that player down to make it into the semifinals. So obviously, these two guys will battle it out to see who makes it into the final. And without further ado, we can get into the match right away. Right, so by the way, let's go. It's nice to have you here, by the way. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
It's a shame that you lost your match yesterday, by the way. What happened?
Yeah. Well, I had no cards to play with, so it was really annoying, even if when I had couple ace-king type hands, like 8-7-5 came on the flop, so it was really difficult to play without hands. And he was quite passive at first, but he won a lot in long showdown, so probably, yeah, it was a strange situation because I called him a lot and he just always had it. But about his aggression, I thought he's bluffing a lot. Because, you know, if somebody has a plus non-showdown, then probably he's bluffing a lot. But it was all the time he had the hand. So I'm still not sure if he bluffed a lot. And I choose the wrong spots to call him. Yeah. Or he just ran really good. So I'm not sure about that, but yeah, he played pretty well, I think.
Yeah, it was an extremely close match, though. Basically, we looked at it, both of you guys. You can see it, by the way, here, guys who are tuning in. We had a comment, very good comment yesterday. I'm not sure if it was Chili Pops here who's in the chat. That who won was Poker Stars, because the rake was really big. So both of you guys basically lost, and he managed to lose less money by about $20, which is really insignificant. So yeah, we're seeing an NL50 stakes here again. We had only one match so far where the players took advantage of lowering the relative rake by playing NL1000, which was in the first round out of the bat. So if you guys play heads up, you should play as high stakes as possible, you know, to avoid the rake trap pretty much.
Yeah,
and we can see, oh my god. So let's jump into the game. This will be, I'm expecting this, by the way, to be a very, very similar match. Let's go. Jake the Snake. Obviously, you don't play heads up, but you start tables. You have sort of an overview of like range-based approach to the game. I'm expecting Jake the Snake to be that, even though it's in the shallow stacks. He's a very, very successful heads up sit and go player. So
yeah, probably he has the edge.
Yeah, so it will be similar as yesterday. Chokata is a tournament player. You faced a do or nothing player yesterday, so I'm guessing we will see something similar. Jake the Snake playing somewhat standard and Chokata coming up with some interesting plays. But I guess we could see it yesterday that just because a player is unorthodox doesn't mean he can't win in a match that's only an hour and a half long, right?
Yeah, sure. It's like less than 500 hands probably, so it's not a big sample. Anyone could win, but it's good to have a little edge or something.
We can see right off the bat, by the way, from Chokata. You can see it in the replayer. He started using a limping strategy. I've seen one of his matches. He limps sometimes. He uses those same really, really big sizings that Meister Macy's used against you. So yeah, so he used the limping strategy. You've seen that yesterday from your opponent. What were your thoughts when you saw that for the first time? Because, you know, we've seen some adjustments, and he did it with sevens and queen 10 offsuit. What do you think about limping in a heads-up match, and how the opponent should adjust to it?
Well, I think in heads-up sit and goes, you definitely have to limp at some point. But I don't like it in a heads-up cash game, because you just let your opponent 100% free roll the flop with any two cards. And basically you won't have, probably won't have any two cards, but you have the position. So I think it's not a good strategy. Definitely annoying for the more aggressive player who wants to 3-bet a lot and play bigger pots with, for example, with somebody who plays heads up sit and goes and never plays more than 50 big blind pots. So it could be annoying, but I think you just have to raise a couple percent. I mean, looking what type of hands he starts limp with, and if he limps any two card, you can raise a lot. If he limps like queen 10 suited and sevens as yesterday, my opponent did, then you can just raise rarely and just free roll every single pot, every single flop. So I think you definitely should use your position. And when I played against, when I played the one match before, my opponent raised 100% from the button, and I think that's a really good strategy, even if you don't have any huge experience in heads up, because it's really hard to do anything about it, and doing something against he won't raise any two cards. That was kind of confusing, but my point is it's really hard to adjust to somebody who raises 100% from position.
You can't. There's no really hard counter to that. If he raises small to 100%, you're basically forced to call a lot of hands, lots of hands. Yeah, exactly. You have to call lots of weak hands, and then you basically have to play poker out of position. By the way, let's have a look at table number 2. Chokata is tanking here on the river. It was I believe he free bet and bet twice, and 5-6 got there here. Let's see what happens from him. And he's min raising on table number 1, so it seems that. Oh, and he decided to shove. What do you make of his timing, by the way? If you're thinking this long on the river and then you shove it in, is it more skewed towards bluffs or?
Well, I think when somebody snap shoves, probably that's more likely a good hand. But for, yeah, especially with unexperienced players, they are so excited. For example, on a match like that, probably he would shove earlier if he has the nuts. But it's a really hard thing to say to okay, I call because he tanked a lot. Definitely could do by balancing. So you should focus on your timing, but I think it's the last thing you should consider when you consider a call. So if you have a really, really close decision, maybe you can use that.
Yeah, so let's have a look actually what happened here. So we'll note the sizings as well. So right off the bat, Jake the Snake, he raises 1.3 is 2.6 big blinds. Basically, is that right? Yeah, 2.6 big blinds. That's when I look at high stakes heads up, guys like Jungleman, they raise anything from 2.2 to 2.6 basically. So it's something that we would expect. And chokata goes ahead and free bets ace-9 suited. I'm guessing with ace-9 suited you can go either way, right? You can either flat or free bet it.
Yeah, and you definitely have to do both ways. I mean, not exactly with ace-9, but ace-x suited type hands. They play really good, so you wanna flat some of those and free bet some of those, and you can even flat 4-bet with some of those, especially with ace deuce to ace-5 suited.
Yeah, I guess ace-9, if you think your opponent is calling a lot pre-flop, it makes a lot more sense to free bet them, right? As opposed to ace deuce to ace-5, because you can free bet them to barrel a lot of flops, turns, rivers, and the 9 doesn't play. The 9 plays a lot better in a normal pot than a free bet pot anyway, if you flop a top pair. But let's have a look what happened. So he c-bets the turn, turns a backdoor flush draw. I guess he's sizing he made his sizing so he can shove the river here, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm guessing. I mean, in terms of bluffing hands, he's got king X, king queen, ace king, stuff like that. I guess he can have some 5-6 suited if he decided to free bet it. So
yeah, I wouldn't say it's terrible to bluff, but I don't really like it because Jay-Z Snake.
It's Jake, yeah.
Okay,
Let's call him Jake. Let's call him Jake for the sake of the match.
Let's call him Jake.
Yeah.
So Jake could have a lot of backdoor flush draws, like any ace-x of hearts or queen 10, queen jack, 6-8, 9-8. So he can float a lot of the hearts type hands, and chokata blocks all of it, especially ace-x hearts hands. So I think it's not a good bluff with the blockers if we block a huge amount of huge part of the villain's range he would fold with. So I would rather have something like, I don't know, queen jack, even if so I like the turn barrel definitely, and the flop c-bet is fine. But for example, if I had a queen jack of even diamonds, I'd rather triple barrel that, or queen jack with one club, and I would shove if the club comes, or if the hearts misses.
Queen jack, let me interrupt you. Queen jack, you would barrel that because you're blocking king jack and king queen, yeah?
Yeah, I would block a huge part of his calling range, and I wouldn't block any busted flush draws. And there is two busted flush draws. so more likely he will bluff catch. So that's the second point against.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very, very good point. That at first glance, I think Chokata was thinking he was thinking so long. He said he was thinking to himself, "Okay, I have a backdoor flush draw. I'm not gonna bluff the flush draws, but I'm gonna bluff the backdoor flush draw." But that's a really, really good point, because if Jake the Snake, against the sizing on the flop, which was, I believe, it's pretty small. Yeah, we can have a look. Yeah, so he c-bet really small on the flop. So I think Jake the Snake, as you said, is kind of obliged to float all ace-x suited with the heart here. So
Yeah.
so basically, yeah, that's a very good point, because he will have all ace-x suited with the heart, and you don't want to remove those from his range. Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah.
that's a very good point. So everything that doesn't block those floated hearts, that's way better to bluff here, right?
Yeah, and one more thing, it's really rarely, but if we check and Jake has no balls to bluff, for example, Queen 10 of hearts or Queen 10 of clubs, he definitely won't bluff all of his busted draws. So we still have a little showdown value. So we sometimes even if we check, he checks back and we win.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we still beat the hands like ace 5 that might check back, ace 6, ace 8.
Yeah, ace 5, ace 6 suited.
Yeah,
definitely.
both of those suited hands. So yeah, that's a very good point. So I think I would prefer the same. So Chokata, even though I'm not sure, he can be trying to be aggressive early in the match, but yeah, it's a very good analysis. So he should be checking this hand here. Let's have a look. There happened an overbet on the river. I'm guessing there's something from Jake that we can expect, him being a heads-up specialist. So let's have a look what happened. So Jake checked back. Okay. Chokata, something, it's pretty standard so far. I guess Jake raises really big here. Right. He's repping the 8 very credibly right here.
Yeah.
And Chokata shouldn't really bet it on the turn, I'm guessing. I mean, Is betting the turn at Chokata's shoes good or not? On the turn.
Well, yeah, we cannot really tell if it's good, or we should know the card he has, but it wasn't a donk, right? No donk.
No.
So
Jake checked back the flop.
Yeah, check.
Yeah,
And
so he checked back the flop. He calls the turn, and then he raises the river.
Yeah, Chokata easily can value bet even ace 9 and king x type hands and bluff a few draws. So I think he can easily bet there.
Yeah, and Jake the Snake, I mean, he can have, for example, 6-7 that he was giving up with on the flop.
Yeah,
he can bluff that, and he very, I mean, Jake the Snake, I'm not sure, we didn't see his c-betting strategy, but if he's giving up a decent amount or he's checking back the flops, he definitely has a decent amount of 8s in his range, right?
Yeah, he can have 8, 9, and even kings with king of clubs.
Oh yeah, that's one thing that we noticed yesterday. You love checking back those nutted hands, don't you? Like every single time. Like one time you flopped the flush and me and It's Never Easy. We were really, really surprised that you bet it, and like in a super standard fashion. So yeah, that's something I would totally expect from you. Yeah, something I would totally expect from you to tell me just that he can definitely check back the king. So that's a very interesting point. Let's see if we have any showdowns here. Okay, so Queen 10. Let's see. By the way, Chokata limped on the top left table again, so he's continuing to mix it in with his limping strategy. I'm curious to see if we'll get to showdowns as we did yesterday, and see if it is a random limping strategy, that he's trying to mix it up here and there, as it seemed so in last match that you played, or if he actually has like a methodical approach to it, and he will try to do some limp raises as well. But let's have a look at this one. So Queen 10 offsuit from Chokata, 9-7 off for Jake. And Jake the Snake, I mean, this is a reasonable free bet, right, from him. If he doesn't really, it's like a borderline head to flat with a 9-7 offsuit.
I don't really like it. It's too good to fold, and it's kind of no point for 3-bet because it's not so playable. even especially in 3-bet pot. So it's basically you can do a couple ways. If chokata folds a huge amount to the 3-bets, as my opponent did yesterday, then you can 3-bet all of your or top of your folding range. We have a song about that. So
oh yeah.
you can 3-bet him like 8-2 suited, 7-3 offsuit, and all the garbage hands, because he just folds too much.
We've seen you free betting, for example, Queen 4 offsuit yesterday. Was that your adjustment to your opponent folding too much, pretty much?
Yeah, probably not Queen 4 offsuit. I'm not sure.
It was Queen 4 or 10-4. Yeah, one of those two hands.
Yeah, probably 10-4. Yeah, Queen 4 is also too good. So. And if he doesn't really fold too much, I mean he folds like the good amount or less, then you can 3-bet him with a mixture of like a depolarized range, like Jack 10 suited, Queen 10 suited, Ace X suited, and King Jack, King Queen, King 10, Jack 9 suited. So mix it up.
Yeah, so let's see what happens. So with the 9-7 though, you prefer a flat almost every time, right?
Yeah,
because it's just too strong. Yeah, so I'm guessing you have a very good point, because Jake gets to the flop with 9-7 and he gets a board like this where he checks it down, and then let's see. Okay, so he check calls the. Yeah, there's basically no good flops for you, right? Unless you hit like a 9-7 or trips.
Yeah, no, not so playable. So I would totally agree with 3-betting 9-7 suited, because you wanna board coverage with suited connector type hands, and it's easy to play multiple streets, because you turn a flush draw, you turn a straight draw, but 9-7 offsuit you can have a shitty top pair and shitty draws.
Yeah, so it happened here that he checked the flop and called the turn, and then checked the river. I mean, post flop you can't really fault him for calling the turn, but I guess it's not about the post flop. It's all about the pre-flop play, right?
Post flop is fine.
Yeah, so you get yourself into difficult spots for no reason, basically, when you can just flat this hand reasonably. You should pretty much. Virtually every single time you have enough, you realize enough equity to flat it. So Jake the Snake looks like he likes to put himself into difficult spots. By the way, I want to comment on something. Chokata, he is really mixing it up pre-flop. It seems really similar to yesterday. Chokata min raised a lot. He limps, and now he used a 1.5 big blind sizing actually pre-flop. So I'm really curious to see. What he's doing, if he's trying to just put his opponent off guard, as we've seen a little bit yesterday, with mixing the strategy up, or if it's a premeditated approach to the game. So let's have a look at a hand. So Chokata has 10 Jack offsuit, Jake the Snake, Jack 6 off. Again, Chokata now he raises 1.25, so he is really mixing it up. I'm guessing he will not have a sizing tell though, right? That would be straight up suicidal against a player like Jake the Snake.
Yeah, but it's really hard to talk about sizing tell in heads up.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way he is doing this intentionally based on hand strength. I mean, he would not get this far if that happened, because any decent player will just pick up on that, right? And actually, does he have Jack 6 here? Oh, no, he's got 10 Jack. Okay, Jack 6 for
Jack 6 for Jack. Jack 6.
Yeah, so Jake the Snake bets, and he decides to bluff the river. Do you like this bluff here from Jake?
Yeah, I think he can bluff. Yeah, it's not a spot when you can say, okay, it's always a bluff. Definitely the 6 of diamonds. Yeah, it doesn't really matter, because Chokata checks back. Probably he doesn't check back too many flush draws, so our 6 of diamonds blocker doesn't really matter. So yeah, I think Jack high never wins basically, so he can definitely bluff sometimes. Definitely not always, but
Yeah, makes sense. And by the way, I think we know the answer, but if there's probably some new players tuning in terms of chokata, I mean, he hit the trips on the river. That's a very, very strong hand. Why wouldn't you raise it here when you get there with the trips?
I don't think it's any point for raising because um, if you get shoved on, then it really sucks. And there is a lot of straights out there and couple full houses. So I think it's just a bluff catch situation. I don't think you should raise here. Maybe you should considering raising with ace 10, king 10. But I don't think jack 10 is a raise here.
Okay. So let's have a look. We actually have a big pot. So chokata has 8s. I'm really curious what sizing will he use, because he uses a limping strategy, min raising 1.25 and 1.5. So he he uses, oh my god, if he actually has a sizing tell.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Oh my god, that would be, I mean, there's no way, if he does have that, Jake will definitely punish that. I really hope chokata is just mixing it up here. So he's got 8s here. This is a pretty big sizing for this board texture.
Yeah, for the paired board.
Yeah, I mean, can you talk about why most every single player basically that we watched so far, they would bet about anywhere between $1 and about 150 on this board. Can you talk about a little bit why it's not necessary to bet so big on a paired board?
Yeah, because you don't want to risk too much and you want to see bet with a lot of hands. So you want to do it cheap. And it's really hard for your opponent without initiative and without position to defend the right amount. So, for example, if it's ace deuce deuce and you see bet 1/3, that it's really difficult for him to calling with jack high type hands. But if you risk only 1/3 of the pot, he should defend like 80% of his range. So basically that's a huge point for c-betting small. And if you have like ace high and 7s and a pair, then you always will call. So the sizing doesn't really matter to his not value range, but you know,
defending range.
Yeah, defending range. But for the king high type and queen high type hands, it's really difficult to call a small amount.
Yeah, so especially Katie, you talked about this, where as an exploit he would always bet small on this flop and bet the turn really big. And basically, if you bid this big, you don't really put your opponent into a tough decision, right? He can just fold his queen highs and not think about it twice, really. But if you make it smaller, he's forced to call them, and then he will basically hate his life on any turn when you bet. But let's see, chokata actually has 8s here, so it's actually possible that early in the match he actually decided to bet big because he has a strong value hand. And let's see what he uses. Yeah, so he bets really big on the turn. Turn sizing is more reasonable, right? Because there's so many draws here on the board now.
Yeah.
So he goes ahead and does that, and now he value bets the river. That's a good value bet, right? With the 8s.
Yeah, quite thin, but I think yes.
Yeah, and he gets called by a worse hand. So nice value bet by chokata. What do you think Jake the Snake? What do you think Jake the Snake was valued down here with? Like, what do you think he called here?
I think something like 4 or pocket 5, 6s.
Yeah, I mean, you can't fold everything because chokata can just double barrel lots of gut shots and backdoor flush draws, right? And bet them on the river.
And he already saw him bluffing 3 streets in 3-bet pot.
Yeah, so he can't really give up. Yeah. By the way, there's something we've seen in your match yesterday. At the beginning of the match, should you be aggressive, in spots like these where either your opponent range is kind of capped, or when, for example, he checks the flop? We've seen you free barrel in a free bet pot at the start of the match with somewhat of a loose hand. Is that a good strategy to basically see what your opponent is doing if he's defending his checking ranges and how light he's calling you down, or basically should the players just have the same strategy throughout the match?
Well, yeah, you can definitely start with something like that, like loose barrel or loose bluff catch or something if you want to build up your image. But I think the right starting is just considering your opponent like. So basically trying to play more like GTO style and see what happens and collect more reads. But in that hand, when I triple barrel bluffed, then I had a pretty good blocker and he checked called flop. So usually, especially small stakes players don't have a good check calling plans and check calling ranges, so they normally fall too much to check calls. So when you see me check calling with strong hands, that's especially against that to not get exploited. And a lot of players start really exploiting style in heads up matches, and it works really well against those. So I would like to start with a mixture of not being too aggressive and not being too calling station or anything like that, but like unknown opponent. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, so basically play a very, very solid strategy.
Yeah.
Try to play as close as optimal and leave it to your opponent to make mistakes and show you how where he has faults in his game, right? And basically try to approach it that way. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, if you have sample size and stats. For example, have you seen the Mayweather and Pacquiao match?
I've read so much about that fight, but I haven't seen it. I'm hoping our final will be of similar proportions to that.
Yeah, we saw that with a couple poker players, and the first 3 rounds wasn't even one single hit. So basically they're just jumping around each other. And my friend who plays also No Limit Cash Game, he said, "Oh, the HUD is not already there." So basically they're waiting for the HUD to show up.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. So they don't have a good sample size yet. Yeah. They're waiting to see actually what their opponent does. So yeah, so they can start exploiting him. Okay. Oh, I love that analogy. That's great. Yeah, so let's have a look if we have some hands here. Yes, we have 6-7 from Jake the Snake and a Queen 9 from chokata. Let's see what chokata does here. Okay, so now he does 1.25 with a weaker hand than before. I'm not sure. I'm really curious to see if Jake will notice this, if he will start to pounce on this. But obviously we've seen only a couple hands. The HUD is not up there. We're judging this furious boxing match only on a few jabs here, but. So far, it seems that chokata might have a sizing tail based on hand strength, and we'll see if Jake the Snake picks up on that, or if chokata actually will try to bait him, and next time, for example, do this with aces and punish the expected adjustment from Jake the Snake. But let's see how he plays his top pair. So he checks back a Queen 9. I'm guessing this is reasonable for me personally. When I check back, I would do it with a bit weaker kicker, so yeah. You can call 2 streets anyway, and value bet this because this is still pretty strong. What's your take on this one, though? Is it important to check back Queen 9? I would expect you to check back queens every time, by the way, and some aces more likely than this hand.
No, you should consider your pre-flop raising range. So, for example, in 6-max, if you open from the cutoff, then probably your weakest queen would be queen 9 suited or queen 10 suited. So it's reasonable to check back that. But in a heads-up game, you probably open almost any queen X, and if you check back queen deuce from queen deuce through queen 5 to queen 10, then you basically checking back 70% of your top pair hands.
Yeah, so it's not really necessary. And the thing is, if you want to have a reasonable c-betting range, if you c-bet all your weak hands and you check back even queen 9, which basically is a really strong hand here, then yeah, I think you're checking back too much with the top pairs. But let's see what happened here. So Jake the Snake goes ahead and double barrels here actually with the 6-7. So it worked out for chokata. I mean, in Jake the Snake's perspective, we can't really fault him for doing this play right with the backdoor hitting the river.
Yeah, I think it's a bit too loose from Jake, but yeah, it turned out well for chokata.
Yeah, so I guess if he checks back hands as strong as this, then, and if he's got so many queens that he's checking back, then Jake's play actually becomes worse. So
yeah,
it will be interesting to see how he actually adjusts to that. And we have another hand here, Jake the Snake, King 5 against 10-7 from chokata. So Jake the Snake, as we expected, he's keeping all his sizings very, very standard, pre-flop and post-flop. So radically different approach from chokata. Let's see it once again. So King 5 suited for Jake. Chokata's got 10-7. And he checks back the king. I mean, this is more reasonable than the Queen 9, right? With the King 5.
Yeah. But the other thing you should consider, not only the kickers, because if you choose like checking back always the worst kicker, then they just can value down you with a medium kicker. So, for example, Queen 10 could overbet twice or pot bet twice. So you should more likely consider the backdoor possibilities, and King 5 hearts has a really good backdoor, like couple straights and I mean not too many, but couple backdoor gutshots and backdoor second nut flush draw. So I rather check back like King 5 of spades or King deuce. But yeah, it's more reasonable than.
I actually have a question about that. With the backdoor high draw and the backdoor draws here, you want to c-bet them so you can barrel them, right? But isn't it good to sometimes check them back so when the backdoor draw comes on the turn and then on the river, you actually can have those flushes in your range as well. You know what I mean? So as we'll play the hand here. So Jake the Snake calls his flush draw, and then he just floods the river. So he does have, if the flush hit on the river, he would have them in his range.
Yeah, sure, but you would have a lot of backdoor flush draws either way, because you check back almost all of your ace-x hearts type hands, 9x hearts type hands. So you would definitely have some.
Yeah, that
yeah,
makes sense.
And what my point wasn't like that. So you have to c-bet every single backdoor king, but it's just another thing you should consider when constructing your c-betting range or check-backing range.
And now Chokata decides to barrel twice. I'm not sure. Again, he uses real big sizing. It's reasonable here with so many draws on the board. Do you like his bluff with 10-7? He's basically got a, what does he have? He's got a gut shot and the 10 overcard to a 9 and a 6. So is that a too loose of a barrel on the river when Jake the Snake checks back the flop, or is it reasonable?
Yeah, reasonable. You shouldn't do it with all of your gotchas and all of your air hand, but yeah, you can definitely bluff with this because you cannot really win a showdown with 10 high. It's the same situation we had a couple times before.
Yeah, and Jake the Snake again, because the straights hit on the board, 7-8 is there now. I'm guessing that's why he's flattening the river only, right?
Yeah, and Chokata doesn't have hearts, which is a good thing. not blocking any of his backdoor flush draws missed.
So let's have a look at another hand. By the way, big bet on table number 1. Let's see what happens. Jake the Snake bets. Again, he's got really, really big sizings on all streets. I mean, let's talk about it after we see the hand. But again, we had comments before that if you use really big sizings, when your opponent is range is kind of weak, you're not really putting him in a tough spot with the weaker parts of his range, right? But let's have a look what happened here actually. So chokata, okay, I guess this will make sense. So chokata checks the flop, check calls the flop, and then check folds the turn. Is this one of those concepts that, you know, if you play against a player that you know doesn't play much heads-up cash games, you know, on a higher level, would you expect them to not protect their checking range well enough?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm guessing that it really makes sense for Jake to use this big sizing and skew his range towards bluffs a little bit. Not expecting chokata to have strong hands.
Especially that Jake could have a lot of semi-bluffs, which makes him easier to bluff. For example, queen, jack, and ace jack, ace queen, turn hearts. And probably chokata has something like queens, jacks, 10x, maybe ace queen, ace jack.
Yeah, so it makes sense for him, and we have an all-in, by the way, ace king against kings. Let's see, backdoor flush draw here on the flop. Wow, chokata was unlucky, didn't hit his. This is a cooler. This is unlucky. As you said, you know, it is only about maximum. It will be about 300 hands here in this match, so this is very, very unlucky. Let's see what happened if there was some nice trapping pre-flop here. Let's see who's got the kings now. So Jake the Snake with the kings. Didn't decide to limp or anything. He keeps his strategy very, very standard. It would be interesting to see what chokata would do. He was raising on the button, but he gets 3 bet, 4 bets, and chokata 5 bets here. I'm guessing they're a bit deeper, so 5 betting makes sense. But can he really fold to a shove? What's your take on this, Latsko? Can you be 5 bet folding like this?
No, definitely not. Never. But yeah, it's okay to making a 5 bet, not shoving it, because they're a little deep. But yeah, it depends how do you want to construct your range. I don't really use 5 betting ranges unless it's 150 BB deep or something more deeper. But yeah, definitely. You could flat 4 bet or 5 bet shove, but this works fine too.
Yeah, it's a pretty big sizing. I'm guessing chokata, he's got ace king. He doesn't want like a queen jack deuce board coming on, or a board where he doesn't hit. So I guess he gains more by 4 betting. But the sizing is pretty big, right?
Yeah.
And I think the biggest mistake chokata made here is that he didn't hit his ace. You know, for the guys listening, do you have any strategies on how to hit his ace? By the way, when you go all in, do you like not care at all? Do you turn away from the table, or do you like go ahead and say, "Oh my God, I want the ace to hit"? What do you actually do? I know you should not care, right? But what do you do in practice?
Yeah, you should not care. You should not even watching it. But I like to mix it up. There was time where I always look away or close my eyes or something. And there was another time when I was shouting his outs, like when I was all in with aces against kings, and king, come.
His outs? Or you were rooting for him?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
I just, not caring about.
Oh my God! That's actually a genius approach. You basically you can't lose if you do that. If you're rooting for your opponent to win, you know, if Jake the Snake is like, "Come on, ace," you know, make it harder for me. If the ace comes, he's like, "Yay!" And
Yeah.
if the ace doesn't come, he can he can basically be okay. I took down my money. I'm rich now.
Yeah, there is a really good video when it's a heads-up championship, national heads-up championship. I don't know which year,
Uh-huh.
but Phil Luck plays against somebody, and they go all in. Phil Luck has something aces or kings, and the other guy, I believe Jason Mercier has pocket fives, and the flop came, and turn came, and before the dealer hits the river, Phil Luck says, "Okay, stop," and he puts Jason Mercier's 2 fives next to the river card. So basically, 2 fives, 1 5 is upper than the river card, and the second 5 is lower. So basically, he said, "Okay, let's do this, dealer. Hit the 5 in the middle." and the river came a 5.
No way! Oh my god!
So that's my strategy involved a bit further.
Yeah, that's genius. I mean, yeah, we talked about this on the community show. Sometimes it's important to have fun playing poker, and if you get bored, you can do things like. I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? If it goes all in already, it's top of the range against the top of the range. There's nothing you could have done there really pre-flop,
Yeah.
So you might as well have some fun with that. And Chili Pops here. I remember that. I don't know how I haven't seen that. I seem like such a loser that I haven't kept up with the poker history. So yeah, but that's a very fun point. So guys, remember to root for your opponent. That way you just can't lose whatever falls on the flop turn and river. Let's have a look at chokata here. Very very nice suck out on the river. Nice nice full house here. So he flats his fives. Flop goes check check. First of all, does chokata have to bet, and do we like the sizing with the fives? Is it necessary to bet this big?
I don't think so. Maybe if he bets, he should choose a smaller size.
Like put you
Like
protect
queen.
you protect against queen, right? Anyway, if you bet like
king, queen.
and on the river he bets really big. I guess Jake the Snake had an ace here. He can't have a 5 now.
Probably is. And chokata makes a small mistake here because if he bets that big on the turn, expecting calling worst, like king high or queen high, then he really should not bet that big, because that big you expect calling by ace x. So then your turn value bet wasn't that fine. So he confuses a little bit and not thinking about ranges, just trying to have the most value.
Yeah, why on the river? I mean, if the thing is like, I guess there's no way Jake is folding an ace here, right? If chokata would bet, why not bet either really small? So if Jake has like a king high that he called on the turn, well then again he will fold his queen highs on the turn because of chokata sizings. But if he's got a king, you kind of want to put him into a tough spot, right? He's not really in a tough spot this way. Why not bet smaller? Or would you mind even in chokata's shoes when you manage to miracle 5 on the river? Oh, it's the 5 by the way, 3 5s that we talked about.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys have 5s, it will always come on the river now. It's twice that happened, Variant statistically. Very, very probable. Would you like to see even an overbet or even a bigger bet from chokata here?
Well, yeah, it depends on what we're targeting. So I would like to bet big on the river, targeting an ace, but then our turn bet is really terrible. So yeah, if we check on the turn and yeah, I don't know how could it happen if we check, but yeah, definitely if we check the turn and he bets, then probably he has an ace, and then check raise the river huge makes more sense. But if we bet the turn expecting he's calling more kings and queens highs than ace-x type hands, then we should bet really small on the river.
Yeah, I mean, if chokata, against this sizing, he's not getting called by a king high, I'm guessing. But if he would check here, so let's say he's not getting value from kings and queens anyway. I'm guessing Jake will not check back an ace on the river, right?
Yeah, probably not.
So it would even make sense, more sense to check raise in Chokata's shoes. I mean, in Jake's shoes, it's kind of hard to be beat here. It's basically quads or ace. No, he's not beat by ace 5. He's beat by 5s and quads, pretty much. So that would be really interesting to see if Chokata checked the river and check raise, because I'm guessing with this sizing, he's not getting any value out of anything apart from an ace anyway, right?
Yeah, maybe a really small bet for king and queen highs.
So,
but the problem is if you check, then he will check back the king high and queen high type hands, which we were targeting on the turn. So yeah, I don't really like the turn bet.
Okay.
But yeah, it's hard to say. I think I don't like the line together.
Yeah, especially with the sizing. Let's have a look. Jake the Snake has king 8 suited. Let's see what happens with the preflop sizing. Yeah. So 1.4. Whoa. Wow.
He does the same always.
Jake the Snake. Oh, it's Jake the Snake.
you-
Sorry,
you
I thought it
mixed-
was Chokata. I always thought it was Chokata. That he's. If it was Chokata, I would think that he's suddenly doing a 1.30 with king 8 suited. But it is Jake the Snake. Yeah, sorry guys. So he calls the king 8 suited. Very very reasonable. And Chokata checks the flop actually. And he check calls. Okay, so first off, what I'm thinking here that Jake most likely thinks that Chokata doesn't protect his checking ranges that well, right? So if Chokata, this is something we've seen from you. Basically, if anyone plays against Latsko, you basically on any street, we know that your range is not capped. Sometimes we made fun of that what the fuck, why are you checking this straight on the river when he's not betting anything? But yeah, basically you can turn up with the nuts every single time, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But Jake here value bets the king 8 to a really large sizing. I'm guessing it is because he doesn't expect Chokata to be checking like stronger kings and stuff like that.
Yeah. It looks fine.
And he did check back the flop, so yeah, that's the thing. Like most players on small stakes, they would not protect their double checking range really. So if they check twice, there's no way they have your king 8 beat. So it turns into pretty much a nutted hand. Is that the fair assessment?
Yeah.
So it's a very very nice value bet here from Jake.
Probably more likely to see bet with king jack and king queen as well. So queen 8 looks a really easy value bet.
Yeah, so Jake the Snake value down him again. It's the second time. He knows how to use his value bets to his advantage, obviously. And let's have a look at table number 1, actually. We have a check raise here from Jake the Snake. It's quite a large one.
Yeah.
Let's see how Chokata adjusts, and he folds. Yeah, this one of the things. I think Chokata's been c-betting quite a bit, but the difference between today's match and yesterday's match is that, okay, so he raises his 3 big blinds. Chokata c-bets quite a bit, but he does it to a larger sizing. Yesterday, your opponent was betting basically 75 cents into $2. Chokata does it a bit bigger. You mentioned that if someone c-bets really with a high frequency and makes it small, you kind of have to check raise him more often, right?
Yeah, well, not exactly check raising more often, but defending more often. That's for sure. And you can, if he c-bets anything like second pairs and third pairs and stuff, then you can easily check raise lighter. For example, top pair, medium kicker, or something like that. and then he cannot have a good checking back strategy. So if he checks back, check backs, you can check back, you can just attack it really hard and put the pressure on it.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Let's see what happened here, by the way. Chokata has a straight, but the pot is surprisingly small. Let's see what happened here. So Chokata turns a straight, and he decides to bet. Oh wow! What happened here? I mean, we were curious about a couple of checks yesterday. Can you explain this? Is he putting Jake on one club hands that?
Yeah, maybe he expects Jake to bluff with ace of clubs or something. But I think if he check backs with a one club hand, he most likely will check back on the river. For example, no point to bet ace x with an ace of clubs. So he definitely has to bet, and it's a better bluff spot as well for Chokata, because Jake checks back the flop, so probably doesn't have too many flushes. So Chokata wants to bluff, not a lot, but decent amount. So he definitely wants to value bet straights.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday, you know, what's wrong with value betting strong hands? That was in your match, you know, obviously you do it to protect your range and mix it up, you know, but sometimes the straightforward way of playing poker is the best one. Let's have a look at table number 2. We have a 4-bet and a fold. Nothing happened there. Again, he 4-bets. It's about 12.25 into 5. And he did raise 3 big blinds pre-flop, so obviously his range might be a bit stronger than usual. Is this sizing standard? It's quite big, right? Let's pull up. I'm terrible at math, by the way.
It's 2.5.
Yeah, it's 2.5. That's pretty big, right?
Yeah, in position it's a bit. You can use it when somebody flats a lot of 4-bets and doesn't really like to fold to 4-bets. But standard, you should just like 2.2 or something. And if you know somebody 3-bets you really polarized, like aces and 9 deuce offsuit, then you can just go and 4-bet, min 4-bet, because he cannot really call 4-bets with out of position with garbage hands. So
Mr. Yeah, exactly. You basically, by 4-betting smaller, you putting your opponent in a really tough spot, because you can tell us as well, you know, it's pretty much, unless you're a really good player, you have so much experience in this flatting 4-bets, which basically you're forced to do if someone 4-bets really small out of position. It's never you're never really excited with hands like king queen, right, on many flops. So it makes sense to put your opponent in a tough spot. And if Chokata does 2.4x, Jake the Snake can just shove or fold and not really think about it twice. We have a question. Mr. Eman21, hello. Who won yesterday, by the way? Latsko? Who won yesterday?
Not me.
So not Latsko, unfortunately. It was basically the closest match we had in the whole championship. We had no idea who won until about 10 minutes after the match, when we had the graphs posted. And Meister Macy's actually took it down against Latsko in a nail biter. And by the way, one thing I want to mention with the limping. He started limping more near the end of the match, and we actually thought you were in the lead, but he was in the lead by about $20. Do you think his strategy was to keep his lead, Latsko, and that's why he was limping?
Yeah, I think, yes.
Oh wow! So we were wondering what's going on. We actually thought Latsko was up because he had big stacks, but because he was down at the start of the match, it was really skewed. So we didn't understand why his opponent, Meister Macy's, our finalist, why is he limping? But it turned out that he was actually up by some measly 20 or 30 big blinds, and he was trying to keep his lead. So hopefully we will not get a bad manner like that in this match. Hello, Benrek. Free80, welcome. Welcome to our stream. And we have a question. Who won yesterday?
Okay, this is just evil. Keep
You-
asking. It's like asking Batman. Do you know who I saw yesterday? And Batman asks, "Oh, exciting! Who? Not your parents."
Oh my God, Benrik, I'm sure that you just tuned in, but if you haven't, this is absolutely hilarious. Mr. Man asked literally 1 minute and 40 seconds before you who won yesterday, and our commentator today is indeed Latsko, who was playing the game yesterday. He lost by a very, very tiny margin, so it was Mr. Macy's who took it out in the finals, and Latsko unfortunately lost, and yeah, we just mentioned it, that his opponent was limping near the end to keep his lead and make it into the finals by all means necessary. So thank you very much for rubbing it in. I'm sure it was unintentional. By the way, before we answer Chili Pop's question, go ahead and shoot. We'll have a look at chokata. He's got 3-6, a monster hand, but he obviously pulled out his turn skills and he got there with the flush. So let's see what happened here. And here is his 1.25. So, oh, Chili Pops is joking. Okay, so let's go. He will not ask again. Who won? Yeah. So 1.25 again. Benrek, no. Let's go did not win. Yeah. Let's go managed to lose somehow. But yeah, let's have a look. So chokata raises 1.25. Again, it's the same thing. He's not been raising anymore, so but he's still 3x's. I'm guessing with stronger hands. And last time he 3x'd, he actually 4-bet against the 3-bet to a large sizing. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's keeping with a little bit of a hand strength read. But let's have a look what happened on the flop. So again, he bets really big. I'm guessing he does this with all hands now, right? He's not really adjusting the sizing to flops. It's pretty safe to assume. He does it even on paired boards. And he gets there with the flush, and he basically bets. And whoa! Does this small sizing make sense? Let's go.
No. I don't like it with a flush. So no. I think he should bet bigger, definitely. And the jack stronger his range. Jake's range, probably. So I think, yeah, he should bet bigger.
Yeah, and he decides to bet like this. Yeah, so with the flop, I'm guessing chokata simply has the same sizing on all flops, basically keeping it simple, right? I think we've seen him do the same sizing in all spots. So he just doesn't want to adjust to the flop sizing. Even when it's paired, when it's like this, he just uses the same size. It might be reasonable. And by the way, we could see another spot, so... again, Jake the Snake 3-bets and he folds to 4-bets. I'm guessing because of chokata sizing, we will not see many 4-bet pots in this match, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Benrek didn't have sound, so let's go. He was not rubbing it in.
No,
he simply could not hear us. So yeah, that's nice. And he was very sad. Yeah, obviously.
I don't think it's true. Probably he's lying.
You're lying, Benrek. Oh, he can't even hear us.
Sound.
Yeah, he's lying about the
And
sound.
who's in school Friday at 6 p.m.? So.
Yeah, exactly, Benrek.
I would call this with Jack high.
You call the bluff with anything, right? Yeah, so let's have a look again, another pot. No showdown this time, but let's have a look at the sizings anyway. So chokata raises 1.25. Now this is something we would expect. Jake the Snake uses a small sizing on a paired board, and
it's much better for his range, so he can bomb turn and river.
Does chokata have to bet this big here?
No, I don't think so. And he cannot really have that strong range. So even if he has a deuce, which he has very rarely, then I think he should bet smaller.
Yeah, it's basically let's have a look at this board. I'm really curious on the one straight boards. We talk about it all the time in terms of the sizing. So he bets the flop, checks the turn, and then yeah, he bets quite big on the river. Okay, at this point we can safely assume, Chokata likes to use big sizings on all streets. I'm guessing he will not be putting Jake the Snake under tough decisions, right? He can basically fold his weaker bluff catchers in all these spots and basically not have a very tough time when Chokata uses big sizings, even in spots where Jake can't really call it much.
Yeah.
By the way, we're all in on table number 1. Whoa! Queen 5, nice. Chokata loves his small hands. Against aces, unbelievable. Wow.
Maybe he took the lead.
I think he is in the lead now. I mean, we've been bashing Chokata, but I mean, he did beat 2 poker strategy coaches. Sometimes sometimes you're just lucky. It is a tournament after all. So let's have a look how he got there. Jake the Snake has the ace. He must have been really comfortable throughout the hand. He has the blocker to the nut flush. So let's have a look at how this huge pot happened. So Chokata flats.
I don't really understand how can this pot goes that big, but
he check raises on the flop. Wow.
Yeah, that's.
He's got the flush backdoor, right? And he does it so small as well. I mean, okay. Now Jake the Snake, he's like, what is this guy doing? I'm really comfortable here. He got 3s and 7s, okay, but
yeah, but he still has 58. So I don't think he can call over bet jam, or it was a check raise.
Yeah, so Chokata check raised. Oh, he's 50. It's 58. Okay, let's have a look at his hand from start. So Jake the Snake raises. So yeah, so Chokata check raise is really small on the flop.
Yeah, that's definitely a mistake from Jake.
And Chokata. Oh my God! Chokata bet.
Oh, he turns into a bluff.
I don't understand. No, I don't.
Why would you do that? He cannot fold sets. So, and you beat anything he bluffs. So, yeah, it's an easy call.
Whoa! What's going on here? I mean, yeah, that's the thing, right? You block the flush. Your hand is super strong. I mean, if you have, for example, I don't know, ace-7 of diamonds.
Yeah, maybe sometimes you can get fooled by king-7, rarely.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a minus EV shove because maybe even with king-7 he finds the call because he has to call so little. So yeah, I think it's a super bad shove. He should just simple call.
Yeah, there's no real reason.
He beats a shitload of bluffs.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way King Queen is calling this. Ace King 3-bets every time. Chokata doesn't fold any king here. Ivosaya thinks, okay, so well, Jake doesn't know that though. There's no way Jake can know that Chokata doesn't fold a king, right? He should expect him to fold all his kings that he check raised.
Jake beats a king, so.
No yeah, point. I mean, if he would
value shoving, it's definitely too thin.
Yeah.
No point because he just check raised the flop, and bluffing it's not good.
Do they play for 1.5 hours already? Basically, Losayev, yeah, he can have some reads, but we didn't have really a pot of this size. This is one of the biggest pots we had. This is the biggest pot we had post-flop for sure. So we didn't really see how Chokata. We didn't see Chokata check raise light either, I believe.
Yeah.
So
Jake, you cannot have a read for this because it's always a too thin value shove. It's definitely wasn't intention for shoving for value.
Yeah.
So it's definitely turning into a bluff, and that's just unnecessary.
I mean, this is the semi-final of the Poker Strategy Head-Up Championship, guys. The pressure can be getting to you, and if your hands are sweaty, so many guys are listening. Ivil Sayev here, and my man Chili Pops is in the chat. You may be you may be even be prone to misclicks or just go crazy. You know, your head goes dark. But this basically the only reason that we can see for Jake to shove the river. Fancy player syndrome. Yeah, I mean it's really tough to see the reasoning behind that. It's basically it's like a value bluff that doesn't make much sense. So
yeah, problem is if chokata folds, then he folds hands which Jack would beat. So if chokata bluffs something like 8-9 of hearts or ace 8 of hearts, ace 5 of hearts, or 10-9 of hearts, then yeah, Jack would win simply by calling.
exactly, and there's no way chokata folds a flush or folds a set here to that sizing. That's just incredible.
He would never fold a set.
Yeah, exactly. So the slayer of poker strategy coaches managed to, I don't know, he managed to toll his opponent with his limping, and Jake the Snake made a mistake here. We can all agree on that. And chokata is actually in the lead now, guys. So be careful. This is the ultimate underdog guy who doesn't play heads up. He plays MTTs basically, and he made it all the way through, beating all these cash game players along the way. And he's in the lead right now. So it'll be interesting to see if he can close the deal. And he scooped down another pot with a nice. Is that a river? Yes, it's a river again. So chokata has some really, really good river skills in this match. So let's have a look what happened. So now he min-raises 4-6 suited. Okay, this kind of consistent with his strategy. If you suspect that this is happening, by the way, let's go. How would you adjust to that? If you suspect that chokata has a bit of a sizing tell, would you free bet his small sizings more with weaker hands, and vice versa, flop more against the free X?
Yeah, you could use that information. Well, like basic stuff. Yeah, three betting smaller sizes with shitload of hands, like crappy hands, and only three bet the big sizing with really strong hands.
Yeah, and flood those more and basically fold the bottom of your range. I mean, that's the thing. He makes it. We've seen only 4 or 5 showdowns so far, but if chokata he raises bigger and has stronger range, again the same concept that applies for his plays on so many streets before when chokata bets basically too big. Jake can just fold his weak hands in that spot, right, and play really straightforward, and use that information against chokata.
Yeah, and he can use this post flop as well, because he knows he's gonna have a strong range, so he can just check raise him only with value.
That doesn't work for chokata. He flats over 60% of opening range and 4-bets 15%. Okay, he 4-bets 15% to really big sizing. I'm guessing if that's right, Ivasayev, then and Jake has the stats on that, you know, it's like the Mayweather Picao. Now we're getting to about 5th or 6th round here. So I'm guessing if that's the case, if he 4-bets 15%, then and he does it with such big sizings, Jake can just start 5-bet shoving some more, and I'm curious if we'll see that happening, because yeah, it's right. Chokata does 4-bet. We've seen quite a lot of 4-bets from him, and it's to the 2.5 sizing, so we'll see what happens. By the way, back to the hand. Chokata barrels with his gut shot and gets there and goes in with the value bet. So boom, Chokata. I mean, yeah, the turn is somewhat. It's a gut shot only, right? If I'm counting right, 3, 4, 5. No. If he hits a 3, he's got a straight. If he hits an 8, double gutter. So seems like a very, very standard play. It's just like the best hand to barrel on the turn with, right? Because if you hit your out, it's kind of disguised.
Yeah. Especially
if you hit the 3, then there's no way Jake can fold. And yeah, I'm guessing Jake will just call the top of his range here. Yeah, OESD. What's the acronym for double gutter? DBGT. I don't know.
Double belly.
Double belly buster. Oh yeah. Did you watch like the old school high stakes poker?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
I've seen them all.
So Jake the Snake, he lost with pocket. No, he won with pocket rockets today. no, Cowboys. He had Cowboys right against Ace King. What do you call Ace King suited, by the way?
Big Slick.
Big Yeah, so Big Slick is running badly today against Cowboys, guys. If you're just tuning in. And,
we are in the golden nugget.
Yeah, this is the golden nugget and the pokerstrategy.com semifinals.
And you never see 3-bet or 4-bet. Re-raise from chokata and re-raise.
Re-raise, unbelievable. We never see this almost. What does this mean? Yeah, so chokata, let's have a look at another hand. Chokata, Queen 9 suited. Let's see what sizing he used. Jake the Snake's at 5-6. How did that manage to go to showdown? It's a bit curious. So chokata again. 1.25. This is something we would expect from him. Okay, so Jake the Snake free bets that. So it's reasonable. It's getting late in the match. I'm guessing Jake the Snake is down after the mistake we've seen. I'm guessing this is very reasonable for him to start free betting hands like this against the smaller sizing, right?
Yeah.
And he check calls the flop. Okay, he just checked all the flop and basically checked it down. And yeah, chokata, he's got his turn skills really down. He is 9 again and just went to showdown. But yeah, for Jake, basically any turn is a tough spot if chokata bets though, right?
Yeah.
Jake tilting.
Sorry, just reading the.
Is there a prize for the pokerstrategy.com heads up overall winner? It's the big trophy that you win. I believe I'll actually show it to you guys. I don't believe there's prize money, but obviously winning it is.
And you can go to any next year Black Member event.
Any Black Member event. Basically, not only that, but you can walk up with this in a bar to any girl, just show it to her, and
especially
she's
in Prague.
In Prague, especially in any country in the world, basically. Look at this trophy. You take it down. You take it to a bar. You show it to anyone, and you're taking that girl home with you. If someone asks you, "Do you play poker?" Well, I don't know. I just beat some of the best players in the world that are on Poker Strategy. You know, I won it. I'm the champion. Want to see my trophy? You know, and they basically there's nothing they can tell. Whereas if you're a cash player, yeah, poker process much better than a WSOP bracelet. I'm not even sure why you post that comment. It should be obvious to everyone. You know, I mean the money would be nice, but obviously no. But seriously, it's one of the only cash game tournament that you can play in any community. This basically that never happens. So if you manage to go through these players, it's basically a stamp that yes, you have luck on your side, but also you can stand your ground. And you know, there's nothing like this really in the poker community. So obviously you get a trophy and then fame that goes with it. And much respect to all the players that made it this far and you know that are in finals. Even to you, let's go to make it into the semis and getting taken down by $20. Yeah, so let's have a look. By the way, we started a bit late, so I'm guessing we have about 13, 14 minutes. Let's have a look if Jake the Snake can turn his table. I'm guessing Chokata's in the lead. Jake was up on one table, but he's still there. And Ivo Saev is commenting here. Jake is tilting a bit against the guy who doesn't fall to free bets. Do you think Jake the Snake is tilting? Do you think that hand was due to tilt, Latsko?
Well, I don't know. I don't think he's tilting. Maybe he wants to build bigger pots to because he has less time or not too much time, or he just picked up the sizing tell and he wants to 3-bet with his no, it was 6-5 offset, right? So maybe he just saw the sizing tell and wanted to 3-bet that and attack that. Yeah,
that's the 5-6 hand. You know, I'm talking about the aces hand. I'm not sure if that was due to tilt. It's hard to imagine that you would tilt shove that. Probably didn't think it through enough. Yeah. It was Size commenting, increasing variance against the guy who is calling station post flop. Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, it's reasonable. If you're down, you see, if you're down and you want to catch up, there's nothing else you can do but try to increase variance.
Yeah, you want to increase variance if you have only couple minutes left.
Yeah,
and
so
you're behind.
So it doesn't really, if even if it doesn't make necessarily sense against the player, then you basically want to do it. You're forced to do it to try to catch up, and there's nothing else you can do. Evil thinks that AA was level 1 thinking example, typical absolute hand strength. Well, I'm not sure. It's possible that he plays heads up sit and go turbos. I'm guessing if you play those with 20 BB stacks and you get to the river with aces with a diamond blocker, you might actually, people check raise indoors a lot more, so maybe he wanted to check raise those. I mean,
no, that was purely over leveling, not level 1 thinking, and it wasn't a value bet because IV77, he said it was a value bet. Because he said super thin shove, but no, it's no way he mentioned to be a value bet.
Yeah, I think you're right. Let's go. It was level, maybe like 7 or 8.
Yeah, it was over level.
It was level 42. I think that he thinks that I think. Oh my God, we see this yesterday. This is so disgusting. Chokata limps. If he'll start limping now, we know what's up, right? You faced it yesterday. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so by the way, we had an overbet here on the river. We can expect this from Jake. That's a very good strategy.
Yeah, so and he asked me because we wasn't sure at the ending time, and he asked me, okay, are these the last hands? And I said, okay, and then he folded all of them.
Oh, okay. It's like it was in the big, the big game. There was the loose cannon, and one of them folded aces pre-flop, I think. It was ridiculous because he had like 20k. He had 20k profit, so he just folded aces pre-flop so he can rack it up, and not risk losing those money. So, yeah, I'm guessing this. We can expect that happening here, by the way. And let me check the chat, by the way. I've 1.23. Yeah, we still have at least about 6 minutes left in the match.
Yeah, 6.
And Chokata, oh wow, he keeps doing this. He keeps limping. So, by the way, we will not have an interview with Chokata after the match. His English is not on a very high level. So we'll try, if he manages to win, which it seems likely because he's shooting below the belt with limping now. We will try to get a written interview. So you will find out more about Chokata in before the finals. And Chaparrito is commenting, they did flop a set in that hand in the big game. Yes, that's right. I mean, if it's important to you to win, I guess being a bit sleazy and folding some strong hands and playing it as a do or nothing tournament, I mean it kind of makes sense. So maybe it makes sense in the big game. It kind of makes sense for Chokata. We'll see if it works out for him. I mean, it's tough if you have kings, if you limp them as well against Jake. If you know that if you lose that pot, you're gonna lose the match. Okay, again, a limp on table number 2. Chokata actually bets. It's good that he doesn't check down everything. I like that. And let's have a look at the split pot actually here. So Chokata actually raises queen 7 off. Maybe we were wrong about him all along. He does mix up the sizings pre-flop.
Yeah.
So he checks back the queen, calls, and calls the river. I mean, this is reasonable from both players. Again, limp pot table number 2. Chokata bet. Now Jake led the turn. Oh, this is one of the spots I know you mentioned this. If one player bets the flop and a mid pair pairs on the turn, the player that bet never has it, right? So it makes sense to lead the turn a lot if you're out of position.
Well, yeah, it depends on his c-betting frequency and his c-betting range. Because if he c-bets like 75%, then he c-bets almost every second pairs as well. But if he has like good balanced c-bet range construction, like 50%, then he almost never has a second pair. So makes sense to dunk or developing a dunking range there. But considering one of them is a sit and go player and one of them is an MTT or both sit and go players, then they are most likely c-betting a huge percent, like 70, 80, even 90.
Yeah, this is what tournament players do, you know. They race to be able to c-bet, basically. Oh, we have a big pot on table number 1. Let's see what's happening here. Chokata free bet twice. Now he's checking the river. I mean, Jake the Snake, whatever he has, he should shove it now. Yes, and he does so. It doesn't matter what you have. You basically shove it to have a chance at the match. Yeah, we have about 3 minutes left in the game, so I like the play. Whatever he has, a value bet or even 7 deuce, he's turning into a bluff. He's trying to get called by something worse miraculously, you know. You definitely should do this shove, you know, and it's very manly from Jake. So we'll see what happens. Chokata is thinking here, and he calls. Wow, and he has freeze. Ooh, oh, nice. This will be close.
9-7.
Oh my God, what happened?
That was so unnecessary.
Wow, if he lost the lead with this, oh my God. Let's have a look what happened. So 9-7. How did that even? So he calls. How does this get so big? There was some mad check raising going on, I guess. Oh wow, why would you do that in Chokata's shoes? Oh my God, he's crumbling under the pressure. That's not.
Chokata upswing tilting.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Positive tilting.
Positive tilt. He's like, I'm gonna win in the next 2 minutes. He was doing so well, he was limping. I have no idea who's in the lead, by the way. We'll have to ask the guys. Just like in your match yesterday. This is a big choke from Chokata, by the way. There's absolutely no reason to check raise this. And he bets the turn as well. Wow, I mean, I can't explain what's going on here. I expect that, you know, Jake's play makes a lot of sense, but seems really unnecessary from Chokata, right?
And we have 1 minute left.
1 minute left. Oh my God, I have no idea who won.
Yeah, I have no idea either.
Jeez, this was a really. Yeah, if he actually lost the lead with this, I mean, that must be one of the biggest chokes in the history of not poker but sports as well. This, like, you know, losing a free goal lead in the last 3 minutes in football. So I'm really wondering what happened there.
Or punching your own face.
Punching if you play a boxing match, you manage to punch your own face. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Chokata felt that 7 was strong enough to bluff catch, but why would you check raise that on the flop? It's just unnecessary, absolutely. It's like Jean Van de Velde in golf. Oh, I don't follow golf, but I'm sure you're right, Chaparrito. But Chokata is up by a few dollars. Chili Pops thinks. I hope he is, because losing like that, that would be really crazy. And Chokata, oh my God, he free bet now. This might be the board that decides, you know, this is a board that hits both players, obviously. It's better for Chokata than Jake the Snake, of course, but Jake will have lots of 2 pairs plus draws. Oh wow.
Well, I think check raising that queen high backdoor flutter is reasonable. Because
Ivica Liev.
Ivica, okay.
I'm guessing. I hope you're pronouncing it right. Oh wow, we have the big hand on the. If they go all in, this is definitely for the winner. And wow, Chokata, wow. I mean, this is. What do you do here in Chokata's shoes with, let's say, aces or tens? With aces, you check fold the turn if you're Chokata?
Yeah, probably. And tens, definitely call.
Check call. Well, what if you're up by $5, you know? And if you call the tens and fold the river, you lose it. Oh, yes! I win. I called your name correctly. So, yeah, if you want to ship me $5 for good luck, feel free to do it. So he did fold, and I think we should be nearing the end, right?
Yeah.
I'll just type it in. Yeah.
Just man up and say, sit the fuck out.
No, when did you start? Let's ask them actually. I'm not sure. I think you were on the call for a bit, right? Yeah, we'll give them. It's 1:31. You were on the call for 2 minutes. 17:35-ish. Okay. So yeah, last hand. let's see. Post graphs on Skype.
Oh, that's one more hand.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, it's up
And
to the
now
guys.
it's all in. You don't have to fold.
Yeah, after this hand. So if you want to go all in, go all in.
Okay, game means fold.
Yeah, okay. Go in the round. Who won? Jake the Snake won. Oh my god! I can't believe this. Jesus. How much? By how much? So, oh my god, guys, we have this.
Poker Stars won.
Yeah, Poker Stars won again. I'm guessing both lost, but this is one of the biggest chokes in history, guys. He basically. Oh, we have a file from chokata. No, I don't want to cancel.
Chokata folds in the river.
Oh wow, that was okay. Let's have a look. Yes, this is it. Wow, this is unbelievable. So chokata, this is chokata. He managed to get himself in the lead. You can see right here, if he folded every hand, if he just raised with the 10s plus, you know the Phil Hellmuth top 10 hands, you know. Phil Hellmuth top 10 hands. So if he just raised those, he would have scooped the match, but you know that really big choke cost him the whole match. So wow, this was a true nail biter. So yeah, we can announce it right now. Jake the Snake made it to the finals. So he will face the Meister Mises in there. This is unbelievable. So Latsko, can you tell us something about this match? Did the best player win?
Well, probably yeah. Jake played a little better, and he almost lost his match with his mistake, with the aces, and then chokata managed to still lose with a even bigger mistake.
This was unbelievable. Yeah, we could see. Oh, hold on, Jake is posting his graph, so we'll see his graph as well. I'm guessing it will show us the same. Okay, so yeah, that was that one hand. Oh, it's much clearer from his perspective. If you take the rake out of the picture, you could see that that's the one hand. There's no way chokata could have lost if he didn't do that. Yeah, so this is really interesting. So we had the big blunder with the aces there from Jake, and then chokata basically came back and did this. So. By the way, let's go. You've seen both players now. You've seen Jake play. You've seen the opponent from yesterday. Who do you think will be the favorite for the finals, and why?
Well, it's hard to tell. It looked like my opponent had a little bit more experience in heads up. I mean, in heads up cash. But Jake plays heads up sit and goes, so it will be an interesting match. I don't really know.
Yeah, so
who is the favorite? They are both supernovas, so probably the same.
Well, we can see that Jake has a 1 million VPP badge. Let's have a look.
Nice.
Yeah, he's got 1 million VPPs lifetime. If Saliev is asking, hopefully I didn't get it wrong this time. He wants to lose this bracket. Yeah, it's something we might consider for next time. We have a lot of players playing. Obviously, it's tough to organize this. Get people commenting on this, but yeah, the format is unique as it is. There's nothing else like this in the online community where people battle it heads up, and they do it like this. My tracker says I'm up 1857. Yes. We can confirm it to the guys. No, they shouldn't play last 23 hands. 1.5 hours. I don't think... Hold on, I'll check with the officials, by the way. If we have to play 300 hands, I don't think so. It's 1.5 hours. Let me confirm this because it is the semi-final. I almost put in sex instead of sec. So we're checking with the players, but yeah, I believe it's 1.5 hours. We can check the thread, by the way, of the Poker Strategy Heads Up Championship. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that after 1.5 hours, you're basically done, and the winner just moves on. So let's have a look. So by the way, let's go, while we're looking at the rules, you know, we're trying to get the technicalities in. Can you tell us something, how did you like the Poker Strategy Heads Up Championship? You obviously played quite a few matches, you know, and what do you think about projects like this one?
Well, you made it really enjoyable, so thank you for that. It's much more interesting like this, with these shows. So yeah, I'm definitely looking for another championship. Or something like that.
Yeah, basically your glory was swept out of you in the by $20 measly, right? So I'm guessing you would definitely wanna yeah. So okay, we'll have a look. Players will play within two up to 4 tables maximum. The game will finish when they reach 1 hour 30 minutes, or play when the player loses more than 6 buy-ins. Yeah, I think let's have a look at stalling, but I don't think we've seen any stalling here. To keep the game fair, players who stall will be disqualified. You must play at least 300 hands every match. If your opponent is stalling, you must report this and provide evidence, recording or staff members as witnesses. Yeah. Okay. So it's basically not it's not clear in the rules. Let me just double check with Sven, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm guessing an hour and a half. Do you have a feeling that either of the players was stalling, by the way?
Oh, they are playing?
Are they playing? Okay, so they decided to play the 300 hands.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the rules. You must play at least 300 hands every match. So yeah, so we'll play that and play until 300. So this is another twist, guys. Don't go anywhere. And we have a big fun on table number 1. This is unbelievable. But
this
yeah,
is like watching Game of Thrones.
This is Game of Thrones, guys. If you thought that you can tune out, you don't. So yeah, so they should play 300.
If you thought your favorite character cannot die, then play it again.
It's very close because we did not see any stalling from either player, so the rule was there only to avoid that. But yes, it's in the rules that you must play at least 300 hands every match. So we can have a look at that. I'll post it in the chat so there's no confusion about this, guy. So you don't shout that, you know we made injustice to one of the players. So this is what is in the rules. The guys were not stalling, but because they 2-table, basically they will play 300 hands, and those are the rules. Oh my god, so we have big plus here happening. Wow. I can't believe this. This is such a nail-biter. Oh my god. So first of all, let's have a look at this hand. Quickly, chokata raises. He 4-bets again. Jake the Snake flats the 4-bet for the first time in this match.
Shove every... Whatever what you have, but shove.
Exactly 300, please. Hopefully the guys can count it, but this is unbelievable. This is like, I thought yesterday's nail biter will be
it's too
the
much
biggest
thinking.
thing. Oh my god,
Wow.
27. He's betting
That
big.
looks like a value bet.
Jesus Christ, this is unbelievable, guys. This really is history in the making, you know. We thought the match was over, but obviously Chokata came back from the dead, and he's betting here on the river. I'm guessing to get back in the lead. He's check raising table number 1. He's got nothing to lose, basically. He's reckless. Oh my god. Oh no, whoa, no way. This probably made it. Oh wow, Chokata was almost back from the dead, but let's see what
Oh,
happens.
Chokata will lost his role.
Wow, this is unbelievable.
He
This
should
table has been
have
closed.
shoved or something.
And he's being aggressive now. We can't see the hand for some reason. Yeah, I can't pull up the replayer, but this definitely puts Jake the Snake in the lead. Let's click visualize. Okay, let me close this. Yeah, we can see the hand here. No, we can't. Guys, the match is so epic that they broke the PokerStrats replayer. You know, it can't stand the drama, so you can tell it's 109 pot, and we can do this. We can have a look at the hand history. So chokata queen 7 suited. Jake the Snake had 10-9 of diamonds, and so chokata.
Wow, really, he should have been really. He should have shoved all in.
He bet. He didn't shove, right? Oh, he did shove, no?
No, just half pot.
Oh, he half potted the river. Oh, wow. And Jake, oh my God, and Jake called him with a 10. Oh, wow, Jesus. This hand is so epic, guys. It decided the match pretty much, more or less. There's no way Chokata can make it back now. But the hand is so epic, we can't even visualize it. But, geez, this was basically a huge call from him. And one, I will actually, after the end of the match, I will post this into the thread, this hand, and you guys can all watch it. So definitely look at it. It's a hand that decided the championship. I'll do it right now. Unless, obviously, Jake the Snake decides to go crazy again and pull some of the hands that he did before. We have a pot on table number 2. Chokata bets, of course, as he should. Oh, and Jake the Snake folds. Okay, so we can see the hand finally. So Jake the Snake had 10-9. So he turned the 10. And then he called the river. Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right. So do you think if Chokata shoves here, Jake has to fold? It would be really close.
Probably he would fold.
Yeah, so...
Not sure, but...
I mean, it would be a tough spot for him, right? I mean,
it was much easier for him.
Yeah, so he could have just called. I mean, he's got 8s, he's got 6s in his range. He's got busted draws, so I'm guessing the 10 is... It's a reasonable call against that sizing. It's just reasonably high in your range, especially if you think Chokata will bluff to this size. But yeah, it seems like, you know, Chokata showed us some balls with the 9-7 hand. You know, he tried to... He choked with the aggressive play, but now he couldn't pull the trigger, you know, pump the pot properly as he did in that hand. So, yeah, it's a shame for Chokata. Jake the Snake, you know, made a big call, and this happened. So we will. I'm not sure what would have to happen for Jake the Snake to lose his lead now. I don't think we can have that much drama in one match, right? And they are sitting out now. Yeah, once I figure out how I can copy paste this thing, I will post it there. So good game, guys. Thanks for the show. Yeah, so this will be all from this match. I mean, are they keeping playing just for the hell of it? They should have gone for a flip near the end, you know, just to end this match in a proper manner. Okay, let's go. So, what are your comments on the extra time here? You know, it's like in the Champions League. You go into overtime. We went into overtime, you know. So, what are your thoughts on this?
Sudden death.
Sudden death. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I'm guessing Chokata should have given himself a chance and just shoved the river there.
Yeah, but as I saw, Chokata didn't have any more dollars on PokerStars. Because he couldn't top up, so probably that's why he wanted to bet small because if he shoves and Jake calls, then he cannot upload at that table. So he's forced to play one table. I'm not sure why he chose that bet size, but I think he he really should have shoved.
Yeah, it's possible. Oh my God! If he went all in like with his bankroll and he wasn't there on the river, maybe he cashed out, to buy himself a bike or something, and that's all he has left, to top up. Can SB explain what is stalling? Logan, stalling is basically in a match like this when you are in the lead and it's near the end and you decide to use your time bank on every decision. So basically you artificially prolong the match, and when you play two tables, it's possible that the match will be shorter, but the 300 hand rule that we had to double check because we didn't see that yet. The 300 hand rule is there, so people can't just tank 15 seconds on every decision when they get into the lead in half of the match, for example, which would lead to useless matches, basically. I hope that makes sense. I wasn't actually sure if it's there, if the 300 hands is only in case of stalling, because obviously either Chokata or Jake were not stalling. They were very good sports this game. But yeah, the 300 hand rule is there because of that. Yeah, thank you. So thank you very much for all of you for tuning in, and thank you very much you too, Let's Go. It was a great commentary from you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for reminding me of the big slick, and Cowboys and Pocket Rockets.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pocket Rockets almost broke the neck of Jake, but Chokata obviously did a small choke near the end and allowed Jake to come back. So
yeah,
hopefully,
it's funny because first Jake won the match for Chokata, and then Chokata won the match for Jake.
Yeah, it almost seems scripted that the guys they made a deal. Like,
yeah.
Who's got a better chance in the finals?
I don't wanna win. Come on, win. You can win. Oh no, you can win. Maybe they are both Canadians or something.
You lost some money to me by mistake. Sorry. I'm gonna give you mine with 9/7 offsuit now. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, good show. Thank you very much. So thank you very much. Let's go. Everyone, you have to tune into the finals. It's basically like the Super Bowl of poker. Nothing compares, not even the big one for one drop. What's 15 million when you're playing for the poker strategy trophy and the respect of the whole community? So definitely tune in to that one. We're not sure who will co-comment yet, but we're definitely looking forward to it. We'll try to get an interview in with both players that are playing in the finals. So definitely check that out. And thank you all for listening in.
Okay, bye everybody.
See you later.